Hello everyone, I'm back again with another repaint, and surprisingly this time it's not a female character. I know I have been on a roll painting female anime characters for a very long time now, but I wanted to do this one because it's a re-release of the Buu GxMateria figure. I think it was released last year or last to last year, and yeah, I just wanted to repaint it again. So this time I did add a little bit to the figure. I sculpted some clouds which I added to the base, and in my opinion it kind of adds more volume to the figure, adds kind of an atmosphere, and personally I think it makes the figure look more complete. So the sculpting was done, of course that part was done off camera, the sculpting and painting of it, because I did the sculpting with a mix of clay and putty. So basically like clay for the base and then putty for the to reinforce it and make sure that it stays in that form and doesn't break and all those things. And the painting was done by airbrush because since I wanted to since I made clouds, I wanted to make sure that they have the soft form. So for that I went with soft shading. Now of course like there are some it's a bit irregular, the shapes are a bit wild in the sculpt, and honestly that was intentional. I wanted to do that because it looks better that way. At least that's what I feel that it looks better that way. It's when it's a bit rough and a bit rough around the edges and not very symmetrical, kind of adds a nice touch to it, gives you a handcrafted feel, and of course finally it adds to the figure. Then after the cloud part was painted, I moved on to painting the figure itself. Now again, the energy ball on top of Buu's hand was airbrushed, so that is off camera. That particular part, I mean, it makes more sense to airbrush that, and on top of that, like, it kind of gives me a chance, or it gave me a chance to add a little bit of effect on the figure itself. So basically I started with the whole figure being coated with black first, and then I went in with the airbrush to paint the energy ball, because of which I was able to add a little bit of lighting effect and shadows to the figure itself, which kind of creates an effect of the light reflecting off the figure, and it's a very cool effect. So after that, of course, you move on with the brush painting, and earlier, I think till date, whenever I've painted Buu, I went with just shades of pink. Now pardon me because I am not very knowledgeable when it comes to the technical terms that are used for colors. Like, I can just say pink, I don't know the different shades of pink, the different shades of red. So let's just say that I was using red and white only to create the shadows. But this time I actually after, I would say, having observed a few other artists paint figures like this, I realized I should use a little bit of yellow to make the colors a little more accurate. I would say it's a little more accurate to the anime compared to my older paintings. So yeah, that is what I did for the body. And finally, of course, the clothes, they were painted with gray and white. So this one was quite an interesting paintwork. and honestly it took a little longer than usual because of the clouds, since I had to sculpt it and then I had to leave it to dry out. Now, while the painting process is comparatively quicker, the drying time actually is longer for especially the clay. I think it takes around 2 to 3 days depending on the weather conditions and all those things. So I had to leave it for a few days to make sure that it was completely dried out and ready to be worked on basically. So that was, I would say, that is like the major addition I have done in this figure. Other than that, it's all the usual stuff that I use, cell shading for the painting, or rather cell shading for painting the majority part of the figure, other than the soft highlights which come from the energy ball. And both of these kind of interact with each other and create a very cool effect, which when you put it on display, it looks really nice. I think the other times I have used this kind of effect in other figures as well. If you check my older videos, there are 2 figures of Goku where I've done this and 2 figures of Vegeta where I've done this. So it kind of works in when there is like dynamic posing involved and you have some stuff to work around with. It's a fun thing to try. If you, I would say, if you're bored with cell shading, you can try this and you'll end up with something nice. So yeah, I don't really have much to talk about in this video. Like it's one of my usual paintings, and there is the only new thing was the additional part. So yeah, that's about it for this time. I hope you enjoy watching the painting video, and I hope you like the end result as well. So yeah, that's all for this time. By the way, before I sign off, I think this time the white came off very nicely. Like it's difficult to pull off white this bright, so I generally go for a little grayish tone just to make sure that it looks good. But this time I would say the white looks perfect. Like it's really beautiful, and I'm in love with the result. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching the video, and if you have any questions, leave a comment. If you anything, questions, suggestions, want to get in touch with me, leave a comment. And this figure will of course be auctioned for a week from now, and you'll find the link in the description. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.